of the creeper's secret. The sun, a blocky orb of brilliant gold, dipped beneath the jagged horizon, painting the sky in strokes of fiery orange and deep violet. Elara, a seasoned wanderer whose pickaxe had kissed countless stone walls and whose sword had sung against 1,000 monstrous threats, surveyed the scene before her. Nestled in a verdant valley, a small village of quaint wooden houses and bustling farms glowed under the fading light. Smoke curled lazily from a few chimneys, a testament to warmth and life. It was a haven, a fleeting promise of safety in a world forever teetering on the edge of darkness. Elara set up a temporary camp, a respectful distance from the village walls, just enough to observe without intruding. Her campfire flickered to life, chasing away the creeping shadows. As she sharpened her blade, her keen eyes scanned the perimeter. Most nights brought the predictable shuffling of zombies and the clicking of skeletons. But tonight, something was different. A creeper, usually a harbinger of sudden explosive doom, lingered at the edge of the tree line. It didn't stalk, didn't hiss with malevolent intent. It simply watched. Its green skin, camouflaged against the twilight foliage, seemed almost to shimmer with a peculiar stillness. It wasn't moving towards the villagers, nor was it retreating from Elara's firelight. It was an observer, and that alone was enough to prickle Elara's adventurer's instinct. For 3 nights the pattern held, while other creepers detonated on unwary sheep, or patrolled the fields with their signature rustle. This creeper would emerge with the twilight, position itself on a specific rocky outcrop overlooking the village, and remain there, a silent green sentinel until the first rays of dawn touched the world. Then, it would melt back into the shadows, not fleeing, but simply withdrawing. Elara had never encountered such behavior. Every other creeper she'd ever known was a walking, ticking time bomb, driven by an instinct to destroy. This one seemed pensive, disturbed, or perhaps simply lost. Curiosity, a force more potent than any potion, began to stir within her. On the 4th morning, instead of returning to her mining efforts, Elara resolved to uncover the creeper's secret. She waited, hidden behind a cluster of birches, for the green creature to emerge from its daytime hiding spot. As the first star appeared, the creeper materialized, its glowing eyes fixed on the village. Its body seemed to sag slightly, not with weariness, but with an unspoken burden. Then, instead of heading for its usual perch, it turned, moving with an unusual deliberation, deeper into the forest, towards a dense thicket Elara had previously dismissed as impenetrable. Elara moved silently, her light armor barely whispering against the leaves. The forest grew thicker, the light fading quickly as the trees canopied overhead. Spiders scuttled high above, their red eyes glittering. Zombies groaned in the distance, but the creeper paid them no mind, its focus singular. It led her through overgrown paths, past ancient crumbling stone walls swallowed by ivy, towards a forgotten corner of the world. The air grew heavy, thick, with the scent of damp earth and something else. Something metallic and faintly acrid like old experiments. Finally, the creeper stopped before a massive collapsed structure. It was unlike any natural formation Elara had ever seen. Huge, cracked obsidian blocks were interspersed with moss-covered cobblestone and remnants of what looked like smooth, chiseled stone. It appeared to be an ancient laboratory, swallowed whole by the ravages of time and neglect. The creeper paused at a fissure in the rock face, its gaze lingering on the dark opening before slipping inside. Elara, heart thrumming with a mix of trepidation and anticipation, followed. Inside, the air was still and cool, heavy with the dust of ages. Broken glass vials lay scattered across a cracked stone floor. Rusting iron tools, their purpose now a mystery, were strewn across defunct crafting tables. Elara pulled out a torch its flame casting dancing shadows that made the cavernous space feel even larger and more menacing. Strange glowing redstone dust traced intricate patterns along the walls, leading to inert pistons and non-functional dispensers. This was no ordinary ruin. This was a place of advanced, perhaps desperate experimentation. Her eyes fell upon a crumbling lectern, its pages covered in faded script and crude diagrams. It was a journal, its entries meticulously penned, telling a story of ambition and a growing desperation. It spoke of a bright, curious villager named Bartholomew, whose mind soared beyond farming and trading. Bartholomew sought to create something new, something to protect his home from the ever-encroaching darkness. He experimented with volatile materials, gunpowder, odd plant matter from the nether, and strange minerals. He dreamed of a defensive ward, an aura of protection that would repel the night's horrors. His early successes were small, glowing dyes, strange, but harmless, alchemical reactions. Then the tone shifted. The writings grew frantic, the diagrams more complex and dangerous. One entry, scrawled in a shaky hand, described a final iteration, a powerful, defensive alchemical concoction that would imbue a living being with immense explosive power to ward off threats. The last legible word spoke of unforeseen instability and a flash of blinding green light. As Elara absorbed these chilling words, her foot nudged something on the floor. She bent down, picking up a small, tarnished silver locket. It was crudely fashioned, but unmistakably of villager make, intricately engraved with a familiar nose-like symbol. Inside, a faded emerald shard, chipped but still sparkling faintly, reflected her torchlight. It was a villager's treasure, a keepsake, now lost and forgotten. A chill crawled up Elara's spine. A soft, almost imperceptible hiss echoed from the deepest part of the ruin. Elara spun, her hand flying to the hilt of her sword. The creeper stood there, half hidden by a collapsed archway. Its eyes, usually dull and vacant, held a glimmer of something more profound, a flicker of recognition, or perhaps a deep, ancient sorrow. It didn't advance, didn't prepare to detonate. It simply stood, observing Elara as she held the locket in her hand, its emerald shard catching the light. In that moment, a dreadful, heart-wrenching realization dawned on Elara. The journal, the villager locket, the strange experiment, the blinding green light, and this particular creeper, so different from all others, Bartholomew. He hadn't created a protective ward. He became the ward. The powerful, explosive protection he sought for his village had transformed him, twisting his form into the very monster he wished to fight, stripping him of his voice, his name, his life as a villager, but not, it seemed, entirely of his mind. The creeper's gaze remained fixed on the locket, then slowly shifted to Elara's face, a silent, weighty communication passing between them. There was no menace in his glowing eyes, only a profound, almost human sadness. Elara slowly lowered her hand, holding the locket out, not as an offering, but as an acknowledgement. The creeper took a hesitant step forward, its head tilting slightly. Its body trembled, a barely perceptible shudder, but it was not the prelude to detonation. It was a tremor of something else? Perhaps memory, perhaps grief. Then, with an unexpected turn, the creeper backed away, not into the shadows, but towards a section of the wall Elara had overlooked. It nudged a loose stone with its head, revealing a hidden passage, curiosity and a newfound empathy urging her on. Elara followed. The passage led to a smaller, surprisingly well-preserved chamber. Here, against one wall, stood a collection of neatly arranged, but non-functional, redstone contraptions. A crude carved wooden map of the village was pinned to the wall above them, crisscrossed with lines and symbols, indicating defensive perimeters and warning zones. Bartholomew hadn't just been trying to create a personal ward, he'd been building an entire advanced warning system for his home. His experiment was not selfish, but an act of desperate love for his people. At the center of the chamber, on a clean, flat stone slab, lay a single, withered poppy, its vibrant red faded to a dusty brown. With a deliberate, almost tender movement, the creeper approached the poppy. It gently nudged the flower with its head, then turned back to Elara. Its gaze, though still that of a monster, was filled with a poignant plea. The poppy, once a symbol of life and peace, now spoke of a life lost, a memory cherished. Then, without another sound, the creeper turned and retreated, not through the passage Elara had followed, but into another deeper crevice in the wall, one that looked impassable. It chose solitude, choosing to guard its secret and its sorrow in the very ruins that had claimed its former life. Elara stood alone in the quiet chamber, the tattered locket still clutched in her hand. The air felt heavy with the weight of untold tragedies. The villager map, the silent redstone, the withered poppy, they all coalesced into a silent, desperate call for help. Bartholomew, the brilliant villager, was gone, transformed into the very thing he fought. Yet, his spirit, his protective instinct, still lingered. She looked at the villager map, then at the locket, and finally, at the dark crevice where the creeper had vanished. The sun would soon rise. Her journey had taken an unexpected turn. She had come seeking adventure, perhaps even treasure, but she had found something far more profound. A shared secret, a tragic past, and a silent, desperate plea. The village above, nestled in its valley, was not merely a convenient stop. It was home, once protected by a man who became a monster. And now, understanding the depths of his sacrifice and the enduring threat he still tried to warn against, Elara knew her purpose. She left the poppy untouched, a silent promise. The creeper's secret was safe, and the village now had an unlikely, unwitting protector